Alrighty, welcome back, guys. We're gonna be going through these past games for Kansas State, KU, and the Chiefs. Right now, we're gonna start off with the Kansas State Wildcats as they went in to Tulane and win their game 34-27, having a great start, starting off 2-0 this year. I wouldn't. They had a very rough start though. Kansas State definitely had a rough start. Avery Johnson, 15 for 23. He definitely can play a little bit better in the passing game, only throwing for 181 yards. Did throw 2 touchdowns. Had a QB rating of 75.5. So it was an all right day for Avery Johnson. I think the big X factor was the running game as DJ Giddens with 19 carries rushed for 114 yards. Didn't get a touchdown, but Dylan Edwards did score a rushing touchdown. He had 4 carries for 54 yards. Definitely a lot more playing time than he did last week, which is good. He had a lot more plays. As also your leading receiver was DJ Giddens. He had a nice few catches here and there, as he had 4 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. The longest was the 45-yarder. I believe that was the wheel route he had. Overall, it was a rough start for K-State at the first half. They only scored 10 points, and it was already 10-20. They were down 2 scores. They did pull through in the third quarter by scoring 10 points in the third quarter and not allowing Tulane to score another point until the fourth quarter. They also scored 14 more points in the fourth quarter. One of those scores was a fumble by the Tulane's quarterback, Darian Minshaw. Um, which was picked up for a touchdown for Kansas State. And overall, the defense, even though they had a rough start, they ended off the day pretty well. I'm pretty sure they had 5 sacks in that game as well. Yep, they had 5 sacks with 11 tackles for loss, which is pretty good. And like I said, most of those came from the second half. Overall, not a bad game from Kansas State. It was a close game, but you're playing a Tulane team that has a really good defense and a really good coaching, and Tulane's just honestly a decent team. So overall, good game by K-State. Way to pull through at the end of the second half, to win the game. So that's it for Kansas State. Overall, they did pretty good. Next week, they do play Arizona on Friday, so they have a little bit less time to get ready for that game. But it will be another tough opponent as Arizona is ranked. Kansas State is ranked up. They are ranked number 14. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and talk about KU now, as they unfortunately lost this game 17-23, losing to Illinois. The biggest thing that happened here is the passing game was not there. Same thing with K-State, but the passing game for KU was not there for them, as Jaden Daniels threw 18 for 32. Basically, that's 50% right there. Just a little bit over. It's like 60 something. He did throw for 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Two of those interceptions, they kind of bounced back from that one. There was one interception, and I believe it was before the end of the second quarter. He threw a pick six. That was just a horrible play call because it was a screen wide receiver. The defender was able to read that and pick it off. I don't think Jalen Daniels could have seen that receiver. He did have 2 defenders on him blocking his view just a little bit, so maybe he missed that guy and didn't see him. But I didn't understand the play call. If they were trying to get yards, I feel like you would have, at that point, just run the ball if you're just trying to get a lot of yards, or just throw it downfield or somewhere. Like, I didn't understand that play call, and it didn't make sense, and Illinois was able to read it and hop on top of that. So Devin Neal did have a good game, though. He had 14 carries for 101 yards, as he usually does. Didn't have any touchdowns, though, which is unfortunate. And you can tell this KU, if KU can get their passing game going, they can be great. I think they can be great. Um, their leading receiver was Lawrence Arnold, who had 4 catches for 44 yards. There was not a single receiver who had more than 50 plus yards. That's that's really not good. That's not what you want to see. Uh, and I think this KU team is definitely a lot better than what they showed in this game. So it's unfortunate that they lost, but it was against a tough opponent. It's going to happen at some point. Their defense didn't play good either, only getting 2 sacks, 9 tackles for losses. Overall, terrible day by KU. They will play UNLV, so that should be an easy game for them to walk right through, get a dub, bounce back from the loss. UNLV is 2-0, but they really haven't played anybody that's really, a top competitor. I think they can beat this team. I think they should bounce back easy. So overall, hopefully KU bounces back next week. And I'm pretty sure they are out of the rankings after this loss. And alrighty, let's go back. Let's go to the game we all want to talk about. Week 1, Thursday night football. Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs did win that night, winning 20-27 that night. Very close. Could have been a tie game, but unfortunately, the Chiefs won it by a toe. Isaiah Likely had a touchdown at the end. It looked like it was a touchdown at first, and then obviously all touchdowns are automatically reviewed. They looked at it, and his toe was out of bounds. Unfortunate to Isaiah Likely, as that guy had a phenomenal game, as he was the leading receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. Had 9 catches for 111 yards, 1 touchdown. That touchdown was a crazy touchdown. I don't know how he did that, but he was pretty good out there. So, Patrick Mahomes had a good day in passing. He threw 20 out of 28 of the passes, 291 passing yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw 1 interception. It wasn't a terrible interception. Just Raquan Smith was just able to catch it. It was a very low catch. That was just a good play by the Baltimore's defense to get that interception. Isaiah Pacheco had an all right day, 15 carries, 45 yards. He did have a touchdown. Xavier Worthy had also a rushing touchdown, as he had the 1 carry, that first touchdown of the Chiefs got, for 21 yards into the end zone. So yeah, it was great for his first touchdown. Amazing job by him. Rashee Rice was the receiving leader of this team, as he had 7 catches for 103 yards, 0 touchdowns, but the dude was popping off. He had so many good catches and getting those yards, as he averaged 14.5 yards a reception. Xavier Worthy, the rookie, also had 2 catches for 47 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown he got, I don't know how Marlon Humphrey just missed it. He was able to just get right behind Marlon Humphrey and just was able to go downfield and wide open. I wonder if Marlon Humphrey was just looking at another guy. It was weird to see like a guy like Marlon Humphrey just miss that. The defense did play all right, as they only allowed 20 points. Had 1 sack that turned into a fumble by Chris Jones. Mike Pennell was also there to help him out right there. So, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, Chris Jones did get the full sack as well. So, and that was turned into I believe, a field goal. Overall, the defense kind of had a rough time getting to the quarterback, but you're facing somebody like Lamar Jackson, who's good at, getting away from defenders and, moving around. He just can run that fast. So, overall, I think the main concern is the passing game. After a guy like L'Jarius Sneed, who you lose, You know, Trent McDuffie had a good day. I think it's the other corners that we really have to, that has to step up and play that role, including some of the safeties. But overall, I think this defense looked pretty good for, week one. This is just week one, so uh, more could happen here. And, first drive for the Ravens, they did get a touchdown. I believe that was the one drive where, they kept calling penalties for on the tackle for, I believe, illegal formation. There was also one where they threw the flag and it was a third down, and they threw the flag for the Ravens offense. Lamar Jackson threw it. It was incomplete, but turned out it was pass interference. Uh, I don't remember who had the pass interference called on, or which player had it on. But they it kind of turned into a replay, and then the Ravens was able to pick up the first down and then able to move down the field and score a touchdown. It was unfortunate because if it wasn't pass interference, it's an incomplete pass and they don't get a touchdown on the first drive, and the defense starts off good. And I feel like that would have probably given them more confidence to, be able to stop the Ravens more. On Chiefs' first drive, it was also a touchdown. That was the one where we went down the field and handed it off to had that little trick play for the Kansas City Chiefs to Xavier Worthy to get the 21 yards in for the touchdown. That was just an amazing play, and Xavier Worthy's got to keep that ball. So, as the next two drives for both teams were a punt. The next drive, the third drive for the Ravens was a fumble. That was the fumble that we got, and we turned that into some points, a field goal. And then the Ravens' next drive, they also they went for it on a fourth down, and Nelson Aguilar missed a block, and Trent McDuffie was able to get there to stop Zay Flowers from getting the first down. It was turnover, and we were able to get a field goal out of that possession. As the Ravens had another chance to go down the field, they, Justin Tucker being one of the best kickers, had a rough time, with 50-plus yard field goals last year, and still had it for this drive, as I believe it was a 53-yard field goal that was no good. It went wide left. So, and hoping, the Chiefs would hop on that. That was the drive the Chiefs threw the interception. And then the Ravens were able to capitalize on that, getting a field goal out of that. And then that was the end of the half. And right from the get-go, Chiefs will score a touchdown. That was the handing it off to Isaiah Pacheco for the 1-yard touchdown, as he got a lot of time. That whistle could have probably been blown just a little bit early, and he could have been called short. The whistle wasn't blown. That's because the refs do like to, let those guys, give them closer to the end zone. They like to, give them some more time for the teams to, kind of push. So, but Patrick Mahomes also helped Pacheco get in there, as he went in there and pushed him himself as well. They were really trying to get in that end zone, and they did. So that was a touchdown. Right after that, Ravens did punt, including the Chiefs. So in the next two drives that both teams had, they both punted, and then the Ravens finally scored a touchdown later on, and that was the big 49 yards for Isaiah Likely, who had that amazing catch, was able to make those defenders miss. So, but the Chiefs were able to, capitalize on that and score another touchdown, which was the one where Xavier Worthy got wide open for the touchdown. So it was a very nice day for Xavier Worthy to get a few plays. So the Ravens did get a field goal after their next drive, and then our next drive we did punt the ball. if we could have if Isaiah Pacheco could have had a better running game and he was able to, pick up a few first downs, that would have probably helped us just a little bit to run the clock. But the Ravens get the ball back to get a chance to at least tie this game. But even if they to score a touchdown, they would have gone for two. As you can see that if you watch the end of the game, Jim Harbaugh was giving out the two fingers as a sign saying, "Hey, we're going for two." Obviously, they reviewed the play because all touchdowns are automatically reviewed, and that was the play where Isaiah Likely was out of bounds. So, Chiefs overall were very. It was a rough start. It's a rough game, but you're playing a good opponent. Next week they will play the Cincinnati Bengals, who are I want to say another good opponent. They did lose to the Patriots 16-10. We'll see how their team is when they do play Kansas City. Because they like playing at Burrowhead, but they're having some rough issues as well for themselves as they're trying to figure out what Jamar Chase is going to do. Jamar Chase did play in that game. He didn't have very much production, though, in that game, but we're not here to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. We're here about to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Overall, it'll be a tough game, I think, probably against the Bengals. So we'll see how our defense does and if they can play just a little bit better than they did this week. Talking about the Ravens, after the game, the Chiefs were all very, these guys are a good team and all that. They were talking, giving the Ravens some credit. Ravens were just salty after that game. Isaiah Likely wished it was a touchdown. Lamar Jackson said he wished it was a touchdown and still thinks it was a touchdown, but we just we're at the point now that where the Ravens want to be so salty about it that we should not have out of bounds for the game next time if the Chiefs play them in the playoffs. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to talk too much about the Ravens because they have a lot of the their own issues. Isaiah Likely saying, if this is how the Chiefs are going to be, if this was their best game, then, well, good luck in the playoffs. That doesn't make sense to me for that statement because, well, it's week one, buddy. It is week one. And if you think that this is going to be your quote-unquote worst game, I would tell you are a liar. So, I think it's just nothing bad against the Ravens. I think they're a good team, like I said. I think they're just salty about the loss, and you just gotta instead of being salty about it, you just need to persevere through it. So, good game by the Chiefs. They win. They will play late Sunday afternoon against the Cincinnati Bengals, and we'll see how they will do. Otherwise, that's it for everybody. I'm excited for Friday as K-State, like you said, will play Arizona. So, and hopefully KU will bounce next week, and the Chiefs will start 2-0. So, thank you guys so much. You guys have been awesome, and you guys have a good day.